All right, so I'm here with Alex Neuse from Gaijin Games, the makers of the Bit Trip series, and I guess let's just start off by asking, what have you seen on the show floor so far, and what's impressed you the most?
Well, I think I'll kind of be with everyone on this, that the 3DS has really impressed me the most. I haven't gotten a chance to explore the show floor too much, but from what I have seen, it's really about the 3DS for me. Yeah.
Awesome, and so with the Bit Trip series, right now we've seen 4 games, and with the critical reception to the 4 games, how do you feel with the discrepancies about people not liking the checkpoints? How do you feel about what the critiques have been, and how have you answered to that and looked to improve things?
Yeah, well, I think that really any criticism or critique is valid, right? Everybody's got their own tastes, and that's great. And we love to hear from all of the players to see what worked for them, what didn't. Sometimes we will incorporate feedback into our subsequent games. Sometimes we won't if it just doesn't feel appropriate. But we definitely always respect that feedback and always sort of reconsider what we're doing, in terms of how we're crafting the games and everything. And I think the best way I can address this issue is that we think very hard about the way that the flow in our games works, and we try to do what is most appropriate for each particular game, because we're telling a specific story in a specific way in each game. And sometimes checkpoints and etc. work, and sometimes they don't.
Now, I know in your latest game, Bit Trip Runner, from my own personal experience, I found that at times, well, incredibly addictive because of how it never stops.
Right.
But at times it seemed frustrating with how you get hit once and you have to restart the entire level, especially on longer levels. Was there ever any thought of giving maybe multiple hits or something along those lines?
There was, actually, and for a little while we had multiple hits implemented, but as we played the game, we sat there and we could notice each other's, even our body language. When we played the game with multiple hits, we were always like, and playing. And then when we played it as it is now, we were always like, whoa, this is awesome, And so I think that people kind of think they want multiple hits because we thought we wanted that too. But then we took it out and we realized, whoa, this game is way better without them. And I think that the frustration is definitely overcomable. I don't think, if that's a word. I don't know if it is, but we'll let it slide. And I think that it adds a layer of intensity and excitement to the game that I think you would lose if you could sort of trip through the level a little bit. So we definitely gave thought to it, and it just didn't feel appropriate.
And then as far as with the difficulty in the other games as well, I know I can speak for myself and some other members of the staff that I've never seen the ending of Bit Trip beat, mainly because it's too difficult that I can't do it. I've seen the end of Runner, but that's the only out of your 4 games that I've played that I've actually seen the end of. And what do you have to say about that? And I know there's a lot of other people out there that haven't seen the end of the games.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are. These are challenging games, definitely. Highly challenging games. And I'm fine if people aren't beating them. They certainly are beatable. There are several people who have beaten them, my mother included.
Wow.
Yes, who's not a gamer. But no, don't feel bad. I mean, she's my mom, right? She's obligated to do these things for me. But they are beatable, and I think that the way that we kind of look at it is level 1 is kind of a little bit more chill, low-key. Level 2, a little bit more intense, and level 3 is like, all right, we're getting serious now, So I think that if you really felt like you wanted to, you could beat it. I'm sure you have the skills to do it, and maybe someday you will. But that challenge will always be there for you to go back to, and I think that's fine.
Now, as far as going forward with the series, do you have any plans or any ideas of what the next games will be? I assume you do, and when they will come out?
I'm not too sure when they're going to come out, but we've been developing these games in about 3 to 4.5 month development cycles, and so we are well into Bit Trip 5 right now, and it's going along. It's pretty good. It's not quite super dialed in right yet, and we're going to wait until we feel the time is appropriate to release that. But yes, we do know what the theme is. There is an overarching story. There has been since the beginning. We've known it was a 6-game series since the start. And that has given us a lot of freedom to really think about each step that we take along the way in terms of what story are we telling. And Bit Trip 5 will kind of be the Empire Strikes Back of the Bit Trip series. And if you're old enough, you'll know what that means. Or and if you're young enough, then go watch the Star Wars trilogy.
You should.
You're right.
Outside of the Bit Trip series, what's in the works for Gaijin Games in that regard?
Well, we are about to do something very exciting for us, which is to publish our first self-published video game. So it's a WiiWare game. And what we did is we took an iPhone game that is an award-winning, IGF award-winning iPhone game called Lilt Line, and we're bringing it to WiiWare with some enhancements. And it's a rhythm music game. It's very much sort of in line with what we do well, and it's a really kind of out there, minimalist, fantastic music experience, and so that should be coming out this summer-ish, I would say, and it's a very good game. It's really fun, short, sweet, to the point. It's a good one. So that's definitely in the works. And then we've got some other stuff in the works that's super exciting, but I can't really talk about.
Another time.
But I did see today that we've got Bit Trip Beat for the iPhone on the show floor over in the Namco booth. So that's another exciting thing that you can check out. So pretty soon everyone will be able to play Bit Trip Beat on the go, and I'll tell you what, man, it works really well. It's going to be a killer app on the iPhone.
Did you guys handle development for that?
No, we partnered with Namco on that, and so they worked on that, and we helped a little bit, but really it's a joint venture between Namco and us.
Now, as far as moving off of Wii is concerned, have you ever thought about moving on to DS or any other downloadable platform?
Definitely. We're just three guys, though. So at this point, we can't stretch ourselves too thin. We don't want the quality of our products to suffer, because we're liking what we're doing right now, and we think that we're doing good work. But eventually, I would love to get on some of the other platforms. Especially the 3DS, right?
Who doesn't now?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
And I know I've heard in the past with WiiWare and DSiWare developers having some kind of trouble with getting feedback as far as how well their games are selling and having to reach certain quotas or something along those lines. Do you have any comments on that, and how has your relationship been with Nintendo throughout developing for WiiWare?
Our relationship with Nintendo is fantastic. They're a great crew over there. I love working with Nintendo a lot, and we haven't had any kind of frustrations or irritations in that regard at all. We basically, we know the score. We work with them. We talk to them all the time. I have no complaints, really.
All right. Well, I guess that's all I have. And thank you very much for coming and taking the time out of this busy 3 days.
It is a busy 3 days.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for meeting up with us.
Yes, and that's Alex Neuse from Gaijin Games.